think that's about it. Is that? Yes. Yeah, that's about it. Okay. Everything is ready. Let's do a live stream. Get this right here and that right there. Okay, we're good. There we are. Now this always takes a minute to grab. Oh, son of a... Stand by. It didn't grab at all. It didn't grab at all. It, for some reason, Catalan Crops likes to crash when I try to go to it from OBS. Fortunately, the game starts very, very quickly. So we can hop back in here fast enough. All right. That's good. And this is good. Yeah. Fried, what is happening? Stand by. We got to do a little reboot. There we go. And then if we go back here, and then we go here, you grab it. That time it grabs it. Okay. So we're going to turn this off. Yeah, I don't know what the cause of that is. There we go. And that, we're going to hop out. You know, I thought I knew what was causing it. And if I did it sort of in a certain sequence, we wouldn't have those problems, but it just happened again. So I don't know. I mean, everything is windowed, everything is borderless and doing its thing. And then for some reason, when we, oh, you know what? Hang on. I see that's flickering for you. It's not flickering for me. Let me try to get rid of it. Yep. So we get rid of that and get rid of that. I've got my stats up in the corner, but they're really not good. There we go. That's turned off. Okay. So what is going on? We've got, let me see. I did, if we go here to our fields, we own 3 fields. And I did sort of experiment. I got a plow off camera. Well, one thing I did was I got all of our fertilizer levels in the green, or all of our chemistry levels in the green. And the way that I did that, in fact, we can go look right now because we're right here at the door. But what I think I had forgotten or not realized is that if we go in here, there is a pellet fertilizer that is, let's bump this up a little bit. Yeah, there is a pellet fertilizer that is, so there's one that is even all the way across, right? That is all 3 chemistries in the same proportion or amount, right? And that is 2-1-1, right? That is like a 1-3. But then if you look right through here, yep, this one is only nitrogen. This one is only phosphate. And that one is only potassium. So if you wanted to, just by using pellet fertilizer, you could bring those, like you could bring any level that you wanted to up to where you wanted to bring it to. Did I say that right? Does that make sense? So I think the goal is that we can balance all of this by using the perfect fertilizer and making one pass. But if you're willing to make more than one pass, you can certainly bring these levels to anywhere you want them to be. So that is one thing that I discovered off camera, and I did get everything in the green. I also, you can see we've got a drill and a power harrow on there, but we've also got in the barn here, walking. We've also got in the barn, I got a plow, and I got 2 cultivators. Now we'll probably sell one of these, but I wanted to see if there was a difference, because if we go back here now, if we go to this menu and go back here and go to one of the fields that we own and then scroll down a little bit, down here we've got cultivated, loosening, and deep loosening. But then like over here, we've got plowed, cultivated, loosening, deep loosening. I did plow this field, but we've got a chain between these 2. And I think what that means is, because I plowed it and this bar was all blue, right? And then I cultivated it and all of our plowing went away and we've got this icon right here. And I think that means these 2 are linked, right? So when you cultivate, it takes away your plowing. When you plow, it takes away your cultivating. Fortunately, we do have that power harrow on there. So I think that will be a cultivator if we only had these fields plowed. But I don't think we even need to plow them, because what I noticed down here was our deep loosening, nothing ever changed for either of these, either loosening or deep loosening. Now I thought a plow, right? I thought this would rip about as deep as we needed to go, because this is 20 centimeters, I believe. And then one of these is 20 and the other one is 10 for depth. But none of these, and that's why I got all three of them, none of them ever got down to that deep loosening level. And none of them ever, if we go back here again, none of them ever altered these values at all for deep loosening. So I don't know. Do you just need to go over them again and again? I don't know what would make that different. But as it stands right now, all of these fields are cultivated. And I think that means we can start putting some seed in. So what I'm wondering about is, when we look at available, let's try to get in the same neighborhood. If we go to like here, can we zoom out? We need to zoom out a little bit. Oh, there we go. Do we want to buy another field? Because this field right here, if we wanted to buy it, is 12 grand, and we have 286,000. Do we want to? Yeah, I think we do. I think we do, because I'm feeling better about the chemistry. So our goal today is going to be to get the MB track going with some seed in it. And then we're also going to, because we still have, down here around the corner, we still have our pellet spreader. We'll get some fertilizer into that big field and get it cultivated in, I guess. Yeah, we still have this thing for another 22 hours. So yep, that is the plan for today. We're going to drive this thing down to the co-op and buy some barley seed, and we're going to get it going in any of our three fields. And, or do we want to do it the other way? Do we want to do it the other way? Yeah, let's do this. Hang on. Let's do this. If we go, no, that'll work. This will be the first time we hire a worker today, and we'll learn how that works together. And before we go, did I forget anything up here at the farm? Yeah, I don't know if I did or not. Alexander, thank you for clarifying that. I tend to kind of use generic terms for equipment, but I know this stuff is all different. So thank you for pointing that out. And I can turn my headset down a little bit. So I guess what we want to happen is when we come back, where's the co-op? It's over this way. Hang on, moment. Where's the co-op? It's over here. Okay, so we can get there this way. Down, right, traffic circle. Yep, okay. And I think I just dropped my weight. Just dropped something, hang on. Do we still have all of our, yep, we still have all of our gear. But we need to, let me go back here and lift this. There we go. All right. I'm a little bit scattered, but it'll click and start to make sense. I've been spending a lot of time in Flight Sim lately, so I'm not 100%, you know what I mean, back in farm mode. So we will, yeah, that is the goal, is to get this thing full, get it back to the farm, then we will put it on a worker. Or we could even do that from the store. We're going to rent another tractor. Yeah, this will all make sense momentarily. Whoa, slow down. There's a lot of weight on this thing. You can really feel it. Brakes did not want to stop us at all right there. You know, my biggest concern is, because the AI was a little bit wonky in the early access. Now, I suspect that a lot of things that were wonky in the early access have been addressed and fixed, so I have a lot more confidence in the AI. But I'm really curious when we hire a worker, because what we're going to do is go into another menu, and now we've got 2 implements on the back here, and I'm curious how that works as well, because what you need to do is first you hire your worker, then you tell it what equipment you want it to use, and in this case it would be this tractor that we're in right now, and it has 2 implements on it. It's got the power harrow and it's got the drill. So I want to be certain that when we tell it to go to work, that it knows to go to the field and it's going to use both the power harrow and the drill at the same time. So we'll see how that all works out. So we need to go straight through here. I say straight because I'm an American and traffic circles are a little bit foreign to us. But you could also say, take the second exit. There we go. So I'm going to fill this thing. Seed is not that expensive. We have a little bit of money. I'm not thinking of this entirely as a test profile. I do want to make money with it. But I also, I'm aware of the fact that we're sort of learning what we're doing here. So if we don't make money this first year, or if we put crops in the ground today and then skip forward a couple of months to see how they're doing, right? And within, you know, an hour or two from now in real time, we're already harvesting. We might do that just to sort of get a feel for how it all works. But yeah, I'm really curious how the hired worker is going to do when we tell it to go to one of these fields and plant our spring barley. All right, and then over this way. Yeah, you can definitely feel the weight between the implements on the back and the weight on the front. The tractor really does not want to slow down or stop. Nice physics to the driving. And it feels a little light on the front wheels too. We've got a fairly big weight. Not the biggest one available, but yeah, that seems pretty well, I don't know, well realized. The developers did a good job on that. And what else? Yeah, I mean, we're going to have 4 fields of barley. And I feel like that's safest, maybe. It's a good way to say it. We're just moving in a direction where we know the result that we're going to get, or sort of think we do. I don't want to branch out and get too creative and, you know what I mean, start getting too fancy. Let's just stick with what we've learned so far. So as far as soil chemistry and fertilizer, let's go with what we've learned. All right, right in here. Oh, and I did, end of the last episode, our broadcast spreader had fallen through the surface of the earth. I was able to get that sorted out, but it took a while. And really what I had to do was just restart the game, and that brought it back to the surface, and then I could, is it restore, recover? Oh, but I could then move it to a specific place in front of me and get it hooked up, and everything has been okay since then. But little stuff like that, I mean, that's not that much of a deal breaker. All right, so before we pull into the trigger, I'm going to go here. We're going to go third person, and this is something else I really like about this game. If we go here, we're going to lower this thing. Nice, slow animation. And then we can open the lid and unfold the ladder. I don't know why little details like that resonate with me the way they do, but I love that stuff. Very cool. All right, so we'll look for a trigger here, and there it is. We're going to set the brake, and we're going to select barley seed. This thing will hold 800 liters, and that's 800 euro, almost 900 euro. Let's just do it. Let's just fill it. And if we have extra, we can unload it by the barn. I don't know how far this is going to go, but we'll figure it out. We'll learn as we go. Now, from here, I say let's go to the store, right? So we'll go back in here. Let's go to the store, the vehicle dealer. When we get there, we're going to lease, we could lease the smallest class. Right, since we already have the MB track, let's get something a little different. We'll lease the smallest class. And we'll do that at the dealer so we can then drive it back to the farm and we're not teleporting. Yep, agreed. And you know what? You can take as many risks as you want when it's just pixels, right? It's the great thing about sim gaming. You can always just start again. I'm going to lease that at the store so we don't have to teleport, and then from the store I'm going to tell our worker to take this thing up to field 13, I guess, and get to work, and we'll see what we can do. All right, here's what we can do. We can get this thing parked in a way that it will be easy for the AI to pull it out. Then we'll lease the class. We'll get in the class, and then we'll put our worker to work, and we'll see if we can follow this thing up to field 13 and see if it does what it's supposed to do. Okay, that'll work. And I'm sort of learning my way around the map. So I think we're going to take a right here and then down just a little ways. Oh, brakes. You know, the AI traffic seems, the trigger zones for the AI traffic seem to extend out really, really far. If you're driving with an implement on, you can see another vehicle, sometimes it looks like a couple hundred yards away, will pull over and accommodate you. So it seems like the detection zone, the sensor or the trigger on the front of the AI vehicles extends out really, really far. And I do appreciate that. It's very frustrating when you get rammed by AI. It makes me want to turn traffic off. Can you turn traffic off in this sim? I don't know if you can or not, but I've never felt a need to yet. The traffic is pretty well mannered. And what else? Oh, also, last episode we had, the game was not recognizing my controller, and it did it again this time when I fired it up. And I think the reason for that is, after I got the game booted up, as it was going through the loading screens, I used my mouse to click through there, and I think it defaulted to mouse and keyboard control, because the next time when I restarted the game, I used my A button to cycle through those menus, and it did recognize the controller. So I think it could be something like the first control device that you use is what it thinks you want to use to control the game. All right, so that, like that, hop out here, close that. All right, so first thing we're going to do is lease our little class, and we do that here. And do we, yeah, we should probably get a weight for the front of that thing. That's a pretty big broadcast spreader. I didn't think it was, but I'm told that is a big broadcast spreader. So we're going to rent this for, oh, this is fantastic that you can, let's go 8 hours. Oh, and you know what? When we rent or buy something, this is a nice detail as well. You can have it sent wherever you want. So we could have driven back to the farm and had it sent up there, but that'd be another 500 euros. So let's do this instead. We'll rent it down here. Did I already rent one? I want to rent two. And then we'll need a weight for this thing as well, because we will have that big spreader on it. And that is, what's the one we've been using? It's 500. It's around here somewhere. There it is. And we'll go, let's go 1,000. Let's go 2,000. That's what we've got on the MB track. All right, so we slide this over to 8 hours or thereabouts. Get it pretty close. We'll rent that. Hop out of this menu and okay. So let's get this thing teed up, right? And get it all ready so we can follow our MB track to field 13. Get in here, get in there, right? And our weight is right there. All right, get that picked up. All right, I'm nervous. I hope this works. So we'll set the brake here. We'll go to this menu. We go to the people page, right? We'll hire Asta for, we don't need her for 24 hours. Let's say 12 hours. 12, I said. Oh, that's tricky. There we go. 12. We're going to hire her. You hired. And then we go to here. No, that's me. We go to here. Tasks, quests, workers. Where is it? Staff. There we go. So we're going to tell Asta It was raining so much, they spread the seed on the mud and water, and then they disc it. Never seen so much wheat in their life. What would cause that to? Why would that cause so much wheat to grow? We want. Is it here? Is it here? Whole time. When we go to staff, we want to. Right. Where is our menu for? It's not there. I want to say it's here. Is it under the calendar? Is it under tasks? New task. That's what we're looking for. New task. All right. It's a preset, and it is field work. Right? Drivers. Driver. Asta. Doing good so far. Vehicles. Add vehicle. And B-track. This is really a really good process. It's really, it took me a second to find it, but it really makes a lot of sense. It's very intuitive. There we go, the zircon. All right, select that. Oh, look at this. This is really slick. I love it. Okay, so we do that. Now we have our driver, and we have the rig all set up. Field 13, right? Select field entry. I don't think it much matters. Select destination after field work. I would say go back to the farm, because all those are pretty close. Fill type from tank. No, we don't need to fill. We don't need to do that. It's already full. Action after task. Interesting. Let's say just keep vehicle combination. You don't like Asta? You know, she was the first person on the list. I just went with it. Okay. Now, immediately, yeah, that's what we're looking for right there. Okay, so as soon as we hit this button, no fill type. Fill type from tank. By fill type. Interesting. Okay, even though it's full, even though the tank on the drill is full, we still had to select that. Interesting. Okay. Well, you know what? It's the first time we're doing this, so we'll see how it all works out. Today is the 2nd of April, in-game, 2000, right? Immediately. Okay. Here we go. And then nothing happened. Something did happen. Fantastic. All right, let's follow Asta out there. Oh, you know what? When we left the co-op, I didn't raise the ladder or close the lid. I'm used to that happening automatically. That's on me. All right, not an unprofessional farmer. Wow, Asta is she's really driving that thing. Hang on, we're gonna catch up to her. All right. The AI seems significantly improved since the early access. So far, fingers crossed. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but so far, it seems to be working a lot better. Man, the ladder and the lid on that have my OCD triggered so hard right now. That is entirely my mistake, but I am just, ooh. That's rough. All right. So far, so good. And field 13 is to the left here. This is, I have to say, this is actually impressive. And I'm going to stop back here. This is field 13 on our right, is it not? I don't know if I can pause her in her task and close that lid. It may close itself here. Nope, it does not. Asta, what are you doing? All right. Back out of the way here. All right, just had to line it up. Now we may have to go in afterwards and do a little cleanup work because it looks like, oh, you know what? They do a headland as well. I saw in the menu for the worker. I saw they do a headland as well, so it could be that she's going to finish off those little end pieces. Wow, that was really, really easy. Really slick. And I assume you can start them from anywhere on the map, and they follow the splines in the road and get where they need to go. That was very cool. Okay, well, Asta is going to plant our fields, so that means we can head back to the farm, pick up our broadcast spreader, do some calculations on, is it this field right here? Yeah, I think it is. We'll do some calculations on this field to our right. I think that's the one we just bought. And then we will head down to the co-op and buy some fertilizer and continue working. Okay. Yeah, I have to say that was surprisingly painless. And before we let a lot of time go by, let's just pop into the overview and confirm that our worker is doing what we want them to do. We want to go here, own fields, that's field 13, and yeah, 13% planted already. Golly. Is it that one? Oh, you know what? You know what I completely forgot to check is it even warm enough to be doing this? Well, we already started. We're doing it. Yeah, 15% seeded. It's interesting that this is coming in as black. That's a little unnerving. I hope that's all right. Let's try. Oh, and these are linked as well. When you seed it, then it takes away the cultivation. Okay. Yep, you can see it right there. Okay. That works for me. So let's pull right up here and grab this thing. I just dumped this here when I was bringing those other implements up, but we'll go ahead and pick this back up. Like so. We'll head back into the house and take a look at the chemistry in our new field and see what we need to do. All right. All right. Close that and take a look here first. We just bought field 16, I want to say. Yep, that is that big one to the right. And it's got more or less the same chemistry as the other fields that we had. So we want these up here, and we want to be, as with the other ones, we want to be 212 for our chemistry, and this field is 0.64 hectares. Okay. So we need to go do a little math over here, and I believe there is one pellet fertilizer we can get that will give us that 211. I'm sorry, 212. 212. So we need go here. We want, all right. That's 211. Yeah, this is, we did go through this before. The best we could find was 211, and we needed to go to, what did we say per hectare? Like 150, is that right? Owned fields. And then field 16. I want to try to do this in less passes. So if we want to be at 150, and we're at 50, so we go to 150. Yeah, all right. I think this might be a little hot when it's done. 730 kilograms per hectare, and that is 0.63. So we'll call that a third. So we'll say 500 kilograms of 20-10-10. And I think we already have a little bit of 20-10-10 in the barn. So we'll pick that up first, and then we'll get enough to top off and give us a total of 500 kilograms. All right. It is a bit overwhelming. There is definitely a lot to learn, but it's between the tutorials and just the way the game is put together. I feel like it's not frustrating. You know, some games are frustrating, trying to figure out what you're doing and how to make things work. I'm not feeling that at all. It is complicated, but it's I don't know, logical. You know, it makes sense. You just kind of work through the numbers. Well, so far so good. All right, so we're going to go in here. I think it's only about 50 kilograms we have, but it will also, because we've got both of our, we have 2 fertilizer slots in this barn, and they both have something in them right now. So by getting this out of here, we'll open one up again, that we can then put something else in if we have to. All right, so we want to go here, loading from this one. Nope, it says that one's empty. What about this one? Nope, it says that one's empty. Is it? Is it that one? No, it's not that one. What are we doing wrong here? We did have, I mean, we definitely had fertilizer in this barn. There we go. Farm fertilizer storage right. Farm fertilizer storage left. Did we not? Well, I'm not seeing it in here now. I mean, it flickered up there just for a second, but now it's gone again. All right, let's hop out and try to figure this out. Where did it go? All right, so we'll go upstairs. Now, I've seen it down. Yeah, see, we've got a little bit right there. What would you call that? That would be left, would it not? I mean, if it's not in here, it's not in here. But I could have sworn it was. And I think this is all crops up here. I don't think you can put any fertilizer in these. Yeah. Okay. Well, I thought we had some extra that we had put in there, but there doesn't seem to be any in there. All right. We'll just drive down and get some. Get right in here. Close this. There we go. Brakes off. Yeah, see that? The menu just popped up again. Interesting. Okay, now it's in there. I don't know what just happened. Well, it says... All right. I didn't think we had a lot. So, yep, total of 50 liters. All right. So I guess the secret is you just need to be in a specific trigger. But we did get that, so we'll go get 450 liters now. 450 liters? 450 kilograms. Oh. We'll go get that. We'll come back and take care of this field. And then, I don't know, see how our worker's doing. And I think we're also, yeah, when we get back to the farmhouse, I did forget to confirm our rate, right? Like how fast we have to spread this stuff. A lot of little details to remember, and I completely spaced. I mean, it's almost 15 Celsius. I think that's plenty warm enough to plant barley. And I also need to figure out in the calendar for the forecast, I feel like I'm missing where we see things like frost warnings and what the temperatures are going to be. I can see what the weather is going to be as far as sunny or rainy, but I can't see any type of forecast for the temperature. So I'd like to track that down as well, so we could know for something like a crop that is sensitive to frost that we would wait until we were past any possibility of frost before we planted it. But I haven't been able to find that. Although I am finding things, there's a lot of menus that I'd sort of given up on, and then I find them, and even, somebody told me last live stream about the menu that tells you what consumables you have at all of the properties on the map. So what we have in the slurry tank at the farm, what's in the tank at the BGA. So that's good to know. Last episode, we were driving all around looking for bull slurry, and it turns out there wasn't anywhere on the map because we don't have any cattle. So had I been able to confirm that before we started, we could have saved a little bit of money and a lot of time. But I know where it is now, so won't happen again. All right, so we go right through here. And I think now if our worker is done, I think we can put her onto a new task remotely. I don't think we need to be where she is to do that. We can just tell her, this is what I want you to do next, and she'll go and do it, I think. Okay. That's a very cool system. And so far, of all the things about the game that, I don't know, just sort of impress you, I would say that the way that the workers have been improved and how easy it is to do that, very impressive. Looking forward to using that feature for animals. When we get animals, if we want to feed them, we can, but if not, we can just put it on a worker. All right. As many different fertilizers as there are, I don't think it would be possible to buy one fertilizer, thousands of kilos of it, and take it up to the farm and just keep it there, because you're always using different fertilizers. All right, so we're going to set the brake, and we want to go here, and it is 20-10-10, and we want 450 liters. That's really tricky to do with a mouse. I'm sorry, not with a mouse, with a gamepad. Let's, there we go. Rather have a little bit too much than not enough. We'll start that. 200 euro, okay. And can we, while that's loading, can we hop in this other menu and see how everything is progressing? Field 13 is, looks like just about done. Okay. So I think by the time we get back to the farm, by the time we get back to the farm, she'll be done, and we can put her onto another field. Now, is there a way to see? Yeah, we'll take a look in that blue menu when we get up there. Is there a way to see what's left in the tank? Although we did tell her to buy seed, so it's possible that if she runs out of seed, she'll just drive down to the co-op and buy more. Or if it's set up the way Farm Sim is, when a worker is doing something like fertilizing or seeding, they're just buying from the store sort of virtually, whether they have anything in the tank or not. Curious. I mean, when she's done, if the tank is still full, then I would guess that anything she put in the ground was just sort of being bought from the store, like in real time, being bought from the co-op. But I would suspect, as, I don't know, as well thought out as that part of the game seems to be, I would assume that she would use what's in the tank first and then buy what she needed. Could be wrong. All right. And I also have yet to figure out a way to calculate the width of a field so we can know how wide to have our spread, so that we get like an equal number of passes, right? So if the field is, whatever, 48 meters wide, we could do 4 of 12 or 2 of 24 or whatever, and we don't have any overlap. And I didn't see a way, Liam, what is happening? I didn't see a way to do like a half row cutoff on this spreader. There may be one, I just haven't found it yet. All right. Where's our turn? There it is. And I also noticed, I mean, we're on 1x time, but I also noticed it is getting to be kind of afternoon in April. So we might get to see some sunset in this episode. Set GPS and check if it fits. Yeah, I've been thinking of doing the same thing. Just set the GPS for a width of the spreader that I, like in this case, I don't know, tested at 24 or something, and then just drive back and forth along the edge of the field and see how well the different marks align as you move from one to the next. But if they could add dimensions to the fields in there, so as well as the area, you would have like the length and width. Some of the fields are pretty irregularly, I don't know, they're pretty irregular. So yeah, let's hop in the MB track. Let's hop in the MB track before we send her off to work again and close the cover, because that is just, ooh, that's rough. I don't know how your OCD is. Mine's not bad. But it's not great either. All right. So come over here. A little bit of stutter right there. I haven't seen much of that in the game lately. So we got here. Oh, that's... why do we have a flashlight on? I don't want that there. I don't need that. All right. So if we go here now and we want to close the lid, put the ladder down. There we go. Oh, better. All right. So now, we didn't save that task when we put her on it. Oh, one other thing I want to check. Let me see what's left in here, if it's used any volume at all, or if everything she put in the ground was purchased from the store. Nope. She used, looks like about 160 liters. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so if we go back here now to, it's the calendar, and then it is tasks. Copy, look at this. Copy, and oh, it's really well put together. It really, really is. Action after task. Keep vehicle combination. Drive back to the farm. Yes, yes, and yes. This all looks pretty good. Okay. So I think that pause between when we told it to save and when they started working was just maybe the software kind of going through and, you know, getting everything set up. Pausing, pausing. All right. I'm trying to think how long we had to wait last time. All right. Let's go in the house and take a look. We need to check the volume for that new field. And we'll see if our worker has started when we get back out here. All right. I didn't press immediate. Well, that's no good. Oh, I can do that from here. Tasks. Field work not ready. Edit. Immediately. Good eye, Liam. Well done. All right, so we go here. Everything else stays the same. Field entry, I have no idea. Everything else is the same. Get to work. Yep. Whoa. Right, and then like laying on the horn. That's just so uncalled for. All right. I'm working on it. Here we go. I've noticed the AI does seem to, you know, maybe not so great in this yard. During the tutorials, there were a couple times where the AI seemed to struggle. Why is our flashlight coming on now? We don't want that. All right, so now we'll go check this volume and get the number that we need to spread on field 16. Then we'll go calculate a width on that and come in here and come in here. And it is 730 kilograms per hectare. All right, it's going to be a little hot, I have to say. It's a higher volume than we went with last episode, but as I understand it, those values only ever come down. So if they're a little bit high, it's okay because nothing that the crop does as it's growing is ever going to cause one of those values to go up. That is what I understand anyway. All right. Only goes to 600. All right. We can check that right now. Not that I don't believe you or anything. 625. Yeah, so we can't go that high anyway. But you know what? We'll spread as much as we can. And where are we even going? What's his name again? Where are we going? We're going to field 16. So out of the yard toward the road, and it will be on the left. Okay. Out of the yard toward the road on the left. Yeah, I would say 625 that's just about 600. Wow, they are really, I didn't see an option to set speed in there, but they really seem to be kind of, you know what I'm saying? Moving quickly, alacrity. All right, so we're going down here, and we want this next one right here. Looks like there's a road on the map, but it's maybe just a little single track or something. Okay. I'm going to go third person for this. And let's try to calculate some width. I say, let's just try it. So if we go over here, right, and turn this on, that's 2400. How wide does this thing go? How wide does this thing go? Because if we can go, that's 36. Can we go 36 and 36? Let's take a look. Wait a minute. Moment, please. That is set to 36. When we reset this, does it not also reset to 36? It does not. Okay. And there's no press and hold, so we need to manually tap this up to 36. All right. Goes to 4,200. You know what? I don't even think 36 is what we're after here. I think 30 is going to be our number. So then if we move this over, and we just, no, it already is. So we need to move this over. This is, I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything like wrong with this, but I'm looking for ways to kind of streamline the process. Because with no press and hold, there's a lot of clicking here. No, that's too wide. So let's go back to 24. I mean, it didn't set that up automatically, did it, for the width of the field? No, it's not that smart. It couldn't be. Bring this over here. All right, just like that. I mean, that looks pretty good, I have to say. So now we need to go back here and remember to swap this out as well to 24. That's good. Back this thing up. Right through the bush. All right, and then we'll go cruise control. And is it A to start? I can't remember. It is A to start. Okay. Now I wonder, because we wanted what, 650, let's say, for our spread. Can we go 625 on this pass and then just back it down to 25 and do another one? I wonder. And for an irregularly shaped field like this, I mean, we're going to have some overlap into the grass, but is that the worst thing? All right, so we'll stop this. Make our turn here. 350 and 350. Yeah, I think that could be a good fix because we're going to have plenty left over. I think we got it just about right. I mean, we're going to have some very green grass near this field, but I think we got our width just about right. I mean, without getting really neurotic about it, right? Like 20.75 meters for our spread. I think as long as we get the bulk of the field, like we'll have a little strip over there on the side, but I'm not going to be bothered to try to do that every single time until there's a field width included with the area of the field. I think the thing to do is what we did right now and just kind of best guess, right? Best effort. And we have, was it 650 or 750? It had to be 750 because look how much we have left. So then we'll back this down to 125 and do 2 more passes. All right? So if we go here now, here, and we back this down to 125, this is a really well thought out game, I have to say. There are a lot of little details, a lot of things that we've been asking for a long time. I know I say that every episode, but it's really it's well done. The devs have brought me back around. All right, so turn this back on. Tend to go with 1200 a lot. Okay. When the crop has grown, then crop destruction is an issue for tram lines. Yeah, I'm curious about that. I was wondering if there was a way that you could essentially record width. So we have this field guidance right now, and we're in field 16. That if there could ever be a menu for field 16, field guidance, broadcast spreader, to pass, right? That's what I would name it. And it would essentially have this field guidance locked in, so if we wanted to come back and use this for something else, it would put us right into those tram lines, and we would have no problem with destroying additional crop by driving somewhere that we had not already driven. All right, now I'm really curious to see what our numbers look like, because I got a little bit frisky. Oh, you know what? I just realized we've been going third person on all that. I've been trying to stay first person. Yeah, we got a little bit confident with our fertilizer application this time around. I was very, very careful last episode. For this field, I really just kind of, I mean, I wouldn't say quick and dirty, but I did it a lot more confidently. So let's see what this looks like when we're all done, and if we got our numbers where we need them to be. Yeah. Yep, and I'm curious. Well, I mean, I guess you could just set up the field guidance to only drive through the previous tracks that you made. But because it has that single degree rotation, I'm concerned that I won't have it lined up exactly, and I'll end up just really tearing up my fields and making, instead of tram lines, it would be like a tram road through the center of the field. Okay, field 16, cross your fingers. How do we do? I mean, not bad. Everything is in the green. That was one concern, but I feel like we need to do like a 1 to 2 potassium to phosphate. So, okay. So what we'll do is we'll X out of here. We'll get out of here, right? Take this off, like so. Turn that off. Turn that off. Phosphate is high. I mean, we're still in the green. Field 16, yeah, field 16. Phosphate is high. Oh, interesting. Okay, I thought these numbers up here, so 150, 76, 160. I thought these values determined where your green bars were down here. Ah, okay, so these green bars stay the same all the time, and it's these numbers that you're aiming for. Interesting. Okay. So in that case, nitrogen and phosphate are high. Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Now that makes me really wonder about our other fields. Yep, Liam, you're absolutely right. I was just trying to get those bars centered in the green rather than looking at the specific numbers. This is a little bit better, but again, our potassium is very high. Okay. Thanks, brother. I appreciate the tip. I think I would have figured that out when my crops turn brown, but I really do appreciate the tip. Okay. So that means for this field that we want to add, okay, we want to add a maximum of 40 kilograms per hectare of potassium, and everything else is already too high. So don't do anything else to those. Okay. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. Back to the farm. We're going to drop this in. Whoa. We're going to drop this in one of our sheds, right? And then we will calculate what we need to do to top off that field with, I forgot already. I forgot. It's one of the three. So let's get this emptied out. And we'll do that. We'll see how the MB track is doing. And what I may do, if we can get the fertilizer on this field done, what I may do then is hop in the MB track and we will seed one of those fields ourselves, just to get a feel for that. Now, something else I noticed is type is not supported. Put this here. Go there? Yep, I think we can. There we are. Something else that I noticed is our worker is going a lot faster than we could if we were drilling that field. So I think that's something we'll need to keep in mind in the future, is that it may be more fun to do things ourselves, but we're going to get a lot more done using the workers, which, I mean, obviously that's the point of it, but you know what I mean. I think they just work a lot faster than we do. At least at the moment they do. All right, now I got to figure out why our light keeps turning on. All right, that time it did not turn on. All right. So we'll close this, and I just saw something come in chat. 3, 4, 13, 14, 15, 16, 22. Yeah, I think I'm going to limit it to 13, 14, 15, and 16 until I have a better understanding of what I'm doing. I think I'm just going to keep it to those 4. And why are we... There we go. I forget with the head tracking, there is your head and your body pointed differently. All right, field 16 is the one we want to take a look at. Field 16, we need to add... Oh, this is a lot easier to figure out. Thanks, brother. I do appreciate it. Yep, I was chasing the dragon down here with these green bars. I was trying to get them all aligned together in the center. Thanks, man. All right, so we need 40 kilograms per hectare of potassium. So if we go here, and we want now like this, and I know there's one that is, there it is, K60. Let's back this down. And it's 0.64, so we want 40. Go down here. Wow, this gets really, you know what I mean? 24 kilograms for 11 euro. Okay. And because, you know what, I'm just going to get 40 kilograms of it and we'll spread it. Does that thing go down to 40 kilograms per hectare? Let's hope that it does. I'm just going to get 40 kilograms, even though it is only 2/3 of that. So that would be what, 24 kilograms? I'm not going to get that fancy about it. Yeah. Oh, I got it now. It just took a minute for it to click. Yep, I was trying to go visually instead of numerically. My bad. And it was oh, did I forget already? 40 kilograms of K60. Yeah, that's right. All right. And also, before we drive all the way down there, let us confirm that we can spin this thing down to... Carefully. There we go. That we can spin this thing down to a rate that low. You know, we can go 50. 25 or 50. I think we can go 50. All right. So let's get like 60 kilograms. Oh. I don't know if I'm doing this right. But you know what? It's a video game. It's just pixels. You know, live and learn. Have a good time with it. And I think, yep, our worker is still working over there. Now, they used 120 liters of seed on the first field. And the second field they're doing is about 3 times as big. So that would be 360. That would be 480 out of 800 that was in that. So I think there may be enough seed in there to do all 4 of these fields. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, right through here. Yeah, this continues to be extremely engaging. I feel like, I don't know, it's got a management aspect to it rather than driving and playing in tractors and painting fields. And when I say that, as always, I have to stress, I am not like down on the Farm Simulator franchise. Farming Simulator 17 is and will continue to be one of my favorite games ever. But this has an entirely different feel to it. It really does. And I'm very impressed with what the devs have done between early access and now. I mean, it's got a ways to go. It's not perfect. But I'm really impressed with what they've done. Because I was so, as it was finishing up early access, I was so disappointed with the game. I wasn't even going to install it when it went out as full retail. I was that put off by it. And I'm so glad that I did, because it's been really just a very pleasant surprise to see how far they've brought the game. And as a marketing guy, I have to wonder why they didn't make that more clear as they were getting toward the end of early access, and all the complaining and all the downvotes. Why they didn't somehow try to let people know, hey, we've really made some big improvements on the game. All right. And I thought I saw a car there. Yep, it's right behind my post. All right. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's unrealistically slow the way the traffic moves, but I have to say I would prefer that to being rammed. So if they've got nice big detection zones out in front of the AI traffic, I'll take it. And I would think that in farm country, people driving cars tend to be more aware of and more accommodating of farm vehicles, I would think. If you live in a farm community, that's a big part of your world. Curious to see how the look of this game evolves. If what they focused on first was the sort of the nuts and bolts, right? The farming simulator aspect, or the farming simulator aspect of the game, right? The activities of farming, and didn't spend a lot of time focusing on the visuals. If I was building the game, I would have done it the same way. You're going a long way. Yeah, I might be. I'll take a look at the map when we get down here. If I was building this game, I would have done it the same way. I would have focused on the simulator aspect first and the visual aspect later. Now, I don't know what the limitations of C4 and Tombstone are as far as how good they can make this game look, but if they get the nuts and bolts sorted out first, trigger, there it is. If they get the nuts and bolts sorted out first and then make it pretty later, I'm okay with that. What was it we wanted? K60. And we wanted, I'm going to go 60 liters. Can we even go down that low? Oh, yeah, we can. Tricky with the gamepad, but we got it. All right. That didn't take long to fill at all. Brake is off. Here we go. Let's take a look at the map. We'll pull out of the trigger here, and we'll take a look at the map. I have been going from the farm. I go down. Yeah, I think maybe if I take the third exit at the traffic circle, right? So that would be like right here. I've been going straight and then over. Yeah, that's a bit longer. So if I take this third exit, you go there, or as you said, just go all the way down and then over. Yeah, you know what? That's how I drive back. I don't know if you noticed that. I take the long way to get here, and then I go a quicker way to get back. I don't know why. That's one of those things, like, you just get in the habit of doing it a certain way. I'm also really curious how long it's going to take for modders to make maps for this game. I personally haven't seen one yet, and I've only seen a few mods on Mod Hoster. I'm really surprised by that. I would think that this would be I mean, I don't know how difficult it is to make mods for this game, but I would think that modders would have really been looking forward to this and really looking forward to the opportunity to make mods for a more comprehensive, maybe more accurate farming simulator. But it seems like there hasn't been a ton of content added for it. I'm hoping it doesn't go the route of some other games where a lot of the sort of standalone mods that you see in the game are obviously just somebody used Blender and somebody used Blender and or maybe the Unreal tools or whatever. They used tools to pull a model out of Truck Sim or I don't know a racing sim or something, and there's just a really badly built purple Scania that just kind of pops up in a game, and it doesn't quite look right. It doesn't really belong in that game. It's just something that somebody was able to pull off. So I would hope that the mods that we see for this sim are I don't know, better. I haven't seen that many so far, and the ones that I have seen have been, well, some have been pretty good. Some have been just pulled over from FS19, and I feel like the physics weren't really very accurately dialed. And now our width is still set, and our track will still be set on field guidance, will it not? Yeah, so I think we can just back this down to the lowest possible setting and then follow in the tracks before, and I hope that gets our fertilizer where we need it to be. Now I'm curious I'm curious how badly we can damage a crop and how dramatically we can impact how well a crop grows by having our fertilizer off. Does it need to be absolutely spot on? Is it progressive, right? If you're a little bit off, your yield will be a little bit compromised. If you're a lot off, your yield will be a lot compromised. Or is it more rigid, where you need to be like absolutely on those numbers or very, very close, and if you're not, your crop is just a hot mess? Unknown at the moment. And is this field 16? It is. Okay. The bits you missed, the yield was way off. You know what? That's fair though, because again, this is the realistic farming simulator that I've been wanting, and so when I get it, right, it's not really fair to say, well, no, that's too rigid, that's too strict, that's too hard. All right, so we want to go here. Oh, that's beautiful. Everything stayed in place. Fantastic. So that is good. We just need to confirm that we are as low as possible, and we are. All right. And even 70% coverage is fine. Okay. So we get that going. We're going to look back this way and start. I feel like I'm doing something wrong, because the volumes that I'm getting to cover these fields, it feels like it's always a little bit fat. I feel like I'm constantly getting more fertilizer than I need, even though I'm trying to calculate it fairly accurately. Now we didn't go, because we needed, what was it, 40? Yeah, we needed 40 kilograms, but we really needed like 25, because it would have been, it's 40 liters per hectare, and this field is 0.63, so it would be 0.63 of 40, so about 25. And instead we got, what, 60? So let's see if we have 35 left when we're done. If we have 35 left when we're done, then we were spot on. But I just feel like I'm always a little bit heavy on my estimates. All right, there's a lot of things that are really, really checking all my boxes for this sim. A lot of things really work well. This field guidance is something else, man. I have to say. All right. I mean, we're coming up on 35. If we're right at 35, then my math was sort of spot on, which is odd because I am no mathlete by any means. Uh, 35, huh? All right. There is 35. Okay, so maybe I'm not heavy on my estimates. Maybe I'm just I don't know, something. All right, so we'll turn this off. Now, here's a question. We've been putting this stuff in the barn. We have chemistry in both of our stalls right now. Oh, hey, before I forget, let's go here and take a look at our field. Field 16, how'd we do? 180, that's heavy, but we learned our lesson. 88 is a little heavy, and then 145. Okay, we're going for 160. We're at 145. All right. What do we do with this stuff? Well, we could leave it in the spreader, and then when the spreader gets returned, I guess it'll just disappear. Or will it spawn as a pallet? Or can we drop it as a pallet? Unknown. But we've got two different types in our... Can we just tractor right up here? Yes, we can. I don't know where to unload this stuff when the two places that we could unload it in the barn both have something else in it, right? So because they already have another type, they're not going to take this type. All right. What do you want to do? Let me flip around here. Let's go third person. Now, I know you can unload seed on these pallets over here. For some reason, I thought you could also unload fertilizer. Let's find out. Nope, you cannot. Okay, no problem. So we'll set the brake. Let's hop in here. Let's hop out of here. I want to go see what amount of seed is left in the MB track. And then we'll send this to work on the third field. And then what? Hang on. If we look here now, field 16, it's already cultivated, and we do have, yeah, it is cultivated, and we've got a power harrow on here anyway, so that doesn't much matter. Okay, let's see what kind of volume of seed we have left in here. And did somebody say there was a seed calculator? So if field 16 is 0.63 hectare, is there a way to determine how much seed we need to put in there? 330 we still have in here. Okay. That'll be enough to get field, which one was it? We already did 13 and 14, so we need to do 15, that little one right there. Okay. Is there a way to see that here? Yeah, I don't see a seed calculator. You know what? Let's get this worker going, and then we will take a look. I don't think that's in the fertilizer calculator. So we can go here now. We can copy this one. We can tell it field 15. We do want to stop when they're done. All right? And we want to go immediately. Barley seed, all good. All right, and they make the big turn. looking like they looking like they still want to hit the little claws. All right, I'm going to go take a look at the PC on our desk in the office here. I know you can use it to calculate fertilizer. I don't know if you can use it to calculate seed. That would be very cool, because if that thing is low and we just want to get a little bit, right, we can calculate what we need. Looks like fertilizer only. I'm going to scroll through here just to see. Yeah, I think these are all, yeah, all fertilizers. Okay, so I don't know. Is there a way to calculate seed? Like what kind of seed you need for a field? We got a minute. Let's take a look through here. So if we go to our fields, it's not here, is it? No. Is it here? No. It's not there. Okay. It seems like something that would be somewhere. I just don't know where. So 0.6, yeah. I'm not seeing it. Okay. Well, I mean, we can sort of calculate, because if we go to field 13, that's 0.35, and we used 150. So that would be, we'll call it 500 liters of spring barley seed per hectare. So 0.63 of 5 would be about 350. So we want to have 350 liters of seed in there when we start that final field. Okay. So I think let's drive all this back to the store, because we're done with this. And then as soon as Asta is done with field 15, we'll take over, hop in the MB track, and go down and refill, and then we'll seed field 16 ourselves. Okay. Close that. That is off. Here we go. And I haven't found a way to teleport yet. I know I can tab into vehicles, but I don't know how to teleport to, like, the farm, for instance. All right. Is there anything else that we need or that we can do while she's finishing up? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Good there. Now, I do have to say, honestly, I don't know, with the current map and the current kit that's available in the game, I don't know how long it would be before it gets boring. And when I say that, I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm just being realistic. It's a lot of fun right now, but there's definitely, like, we're on the learning curve. And that's always fun, to be discovering things and, oh, careful, discovering things and figuring things out, and, you know. But if we were still farming this same map a year from now, you know, would that still be working for us? So I'm curious, how many hours, how many weeks, how many months before we're really sort of craving some, either some additional DLC or some mod content. And I'm just going to pull this in here. So this tractor, this weight, and this broadcast spreader are all leased. So we can just stuff this in here anywhere. Right about like so. Right about like so. All right. All right. And I don't want to run back to the farm. I think there's a faster way to get there. I just don't know what it is. But we can figure that out now. So if we go there. So can we do it on the map? We do it there. Is it? Nope. Not really getting anything here. Now this will give us a, if I were to click A on the house, it would just give us a course back to there, but I don't think it would teleport us there. All right, is it in one of these? Is it in one of these? Not really. No. I mean, you can spawn things at various places on the map. I just don't know if you can spawn yourself at various places on the map. Let's try this. Right there. Nope. Nope. You know, I don't want to run all the way back up there. Let's try this. So if we get out of there, if we tab into this vehicle, I don't know if it's going to interrupt the worker. Let's find out. Whoa. Okay, that's a quick and dirty way to do that. It did tab us into the vehicle. It did not interrupt the worker. And from here, we're just that far from the farm. Okay. So they are... that's interesting. So this is... yeah, this... okay, this is drilled. And then they've got the ridge marker out on this side. Is that... can't even tell if the ridge marker is leaving a trail. So if we were to use those instead of field guidance, is that... can you even follow those? Because I'm not seeing any type of mark that it's leaving. It seemed like, I have to say, it seemed like the worker was going faster before, right? Like it really made quick work of those first two fields. Seems to be a little bit more sedate right now. Slow down a little bit. Let's take a look over here. Yeah, I'm not seeing the ridge marker leaving any kind of discernible mark. Okay, field guidance it is. I mean, I guess you could just do it by eye. But it's curious that the ridge markers don't leave any kind of mark. All right, and what else can we do while we're waiting? We can take a look here one more time. So that is a little bit high, a little bit high, a little bit low. That's spot on. A little bit high, a little bit high. Well, I say a little bit. I don't know exactly how we're defining a little bit. Okay. Man, I've got to fix those dead zones. I've got them dialed out pretty far, but I do have a ton of drift in my thumbsticks. So that's maybe, I'd say that's 2 more passes. This is a little disconcerting also. I mean, I was saying earlier, the AI is so significantly improved over what it was doing in the early access. But some of this, I mean, I don't know if they're going to put a headland in, if the AI is going to sort of cover over this, or if this is just the current, I don't know, its current ability, capacity. But that's a little bit ragged. You know what, though? It's making AI work in these sims, I think it's got to be a very, very difficult task, because it seems like every farm simulator struggles with it. All right, if it was easy, they wouldn't all be struggling with it. So maybe that is as good as it gets. I'm trying to think what else we can do for the next few minutes while we're waiting here. Off the top of my head, yeah, I can't think of anything. We're just waiting on the beat track, and we can get to work on field 16. I may or may not finish that on camera because I think it's probably about an hour. So we'll just do a few passes, get a feel for it, and then call it. Try to call it right around the 2-hour mark. Now I did buy all this stuff, and it wasn't terribly expensive. The disc harrow, the cultivator, and the plow were like $15,000 a piece, I think. So I just went ahead and bought this stuff. I bought the power harrow and the drill, so we own that now. I don't think I'm going to buy a combine harvester. It just doesn't make any sense this early in the game. But this other stuff, I figured, why not? It's not too spendy. Yeah, I'm really curious. I mean, we didn't watch any of this on the other fields, but I did see, well, we can even look right now. If we go here, right, and go to tasks, right here, let's take a look at this, right here, we did not call for a headland. Is that even an option? Let's find out. So if we cancel out of that, if we copy that, yeah, it doesn't really give an option for a headland. It doesn't. Okay. So I'm curious if they're going to, well, let's head over here and take a look at this other field. I'm curious if they are going to clean that up, or if we need to clean that up manually. You know, we can take a look at this one right here, because they did do this field going up the hill to the farm. Looks like they cleaned it up. Yeah. Is that a headland? Maybe. Hang on. So if we go here now, right, and that is this field, and we want to see its how well it's, right, like that. Does it, oh, you know what it might do? You know what it might do is, you know, when you're doing the, yeah, that's, I would say that's just about perfect. When you're doing the tutorials, when you get close enough to being done, it just asks you if you want to call it and say you're done. And if you select yes, then everything is immediately, like the whole field is just done end to end, totally smooth and perfect. So I'm curious if it, sir? I'm curious if it does that, where essentially it, interesting, where the AI goes through the process of working the entire field, and then after it's done, the field sort of magically becomes 100% complete, because this field right here is perfect. You know, there's no turn marks, everything is just 100% smooth. So let's watch when they get done with this one and see if all these little divots down here instantly disappear. I'm okay with either one. I mean, it's not completely immersive, but neither is this, frankly. So, let's see what happens. Oh, and they got just a little tiny corner on the side there. Ah, interesting. There's their headland. Okay. Now, somebody told me a couple streams ago that in Germany you don't do a roundy headland. You just do your lengths and then you go and put your ends in. So let's see if they drive down here and make one more pass and then that's it. Or they do one more pass down there. Is that... No, it is down. Okay. It looked like the power harrow was down and the drill was up. I was very confused, but it was... Ah, okay. The AI is not turning on the field at all now. Right? When they were doing the lengths, they were turning on the field, and now they are definitely, like, being mindful of whatever. Okay, so I would assume then, after having done this headland, they'll drive down to the other end, finish that. Wow. This is, you know, I guess I got to give the devs more credit, because there are a lot of little details in the game that continue to surprise me. Okay, so they are doing the ends and the sides as well. Now, that I can see. It looks like the ridge marker is actually taking it from seeded back to cultivated. And did it do that over here as well? Nope, looks like it's just on that side. Okay. I'm sort of fascinated by this process, like as far as how the game code is calculating how to work on these fields and how to finish them. All right, so now that one is out. And does that... Yeah, interesting. The ridge marker did, I mean, I wouldn't say it's damaged, but it did leave a mark down the field. I didn't see a way to turn ridge markers on and off. But I'd be curious if that's something we could permanently disable so the AI doesn't use them at all. I mean, it doesn't really need them. Those are more for us. Well, it's certainly thorough. No complaints there. That's a little, yeah, not a big deal. Calculating. It is getting to be evening too. Starting to get some longer shadows. All right, doesn't like that one. I'm really curious what the logic is here, but I mean, it is working. All right. And that is our AI done. Sort of. Curious, they didn't finish that one last little corner right there. So nope, other one. If we go here, and then field 15, was it 15? Yeah. More corner there. Yeah, okay. I mean, it looks like it's not 100% perfect, but not a big deal. Okay, let's go hop in this thing. I think we're going to need to take it down and add a little bit of seed to it. We'll do a couple passes in field 16 and we'll call it. And we can just hop right in here. We're at 256, so we need to add about 60 liters. Is that right? Carefully. All right, that's us. Here we go. Here we go. And we will take a different way down to the store this time, down to the co-op, see if we can get there a little quicker. All right. Yeah, I'm pleased with the game so far. No complaints. It's not perfect, but no complaints. I'm really enjoying it. And this we can, ooh, getting a little reckless. We can unload this on the pallets by the cattle barn, so if we have a little bit extra, we're okay. All right, through there, driving the grass a little bit carefully. Yep. There's a really significant difference in the braking distances with the power harrow and drill on the back compared to just having the weight on the front. Night and day. Oh, and I noticed that the mini map down in the bottom left corner will continue to show whatever your sort of view criteria is. When you have the big map open, it will carry that over after you close the big map and keep it open on the mini map, so we can go back in and turn off. I think we're asking it to like show where we've seeded, so I can turn that off when we're getting filled up. Alright, and if I remember this, I'm trying to do this backwards in my head because I typically come up here the other way. We want to go to the left down here. Right here, yep. Yeah, this is quicker. That was a bit hot through there. And it is, looks like it's right around the bend here. And how are we doing on fuel? Still good, 3/4 of a tank. Second right. I think I got that a little bit late, but we're already just about right there. Are we not? Yeah, there it is right there. No, you were right. That was a lot quicker. I don't know why I kind of got in the habit of going that way. I know we were going pretty far out to the east and then north. But yeah, this is better. All right, so far so good. I'm curious to see how our fertilizer calculations being a bit off, I'm curious to see how they impact the crop. Now we really won't have a way to know because we only have one crop in. All right, so we'll set the brake. I'm going to go over here, right? We want to open the cover, put the ladder down. Yep. And then we want to go up here. We want barley seed, right? And we want about, I'd say about 75 liters. How about 76? There we go. All right, Liam, I'm probably going to go another, maybe another 15 or 20 minutes. So if I'm done before you get back, I will catch up with you another time. But I appreciate you stopping by, and I appreciate all the tips. All right, we'll go right out here. And right out here, beautiful. All right. I'm also curious what the AI is going to do to CPU. I know that can typically beat up a CPU, particularly turns. So I'm curious when we have multiple workers going at the same time, what that's going to look like. I don't know. I mean, I plan to try to grow the farm realistically. So if we have 4 fields this year, maybe next year we'll buy 1 or 2 more. I mean, it will depend on what kind of money we make. But I might buy 1 or 2 more fields. Maybe we'll get some animals going. So I don't know if we would ever get to a level where we would have half a dozen people working at once. I don't know if we'd even have that much equipment. Well, I guess we could rent, but you know what I mean. Will the farm ever be that big that we've got, you know, a lot of tasks going on at once? And also, now with seasons, in Farming Simulator with seasons, I think the most days you can have in a year is 36. Is that correct? 60 maybe? I don't think you can have 360, which is what this game has. Now you can skip forward days and weeks at a time, rather than just sleeping through one night. But with the entire year being available to you, I think what that would mean is even if a field was going to require you to work on it for an entire day, which is not likely, if you owned 15 fields, that would be, you know, 2 weeks. And that would certainly, you know, spring is not 2 weeks long. Now I know there are some things, particularly harvest, that need to be done on a pretty tight schedule. But because we have so many days to get these things done, I don't know that we would ever have to have 6 or 8 workers working at once. I think at most it would just be maybe us and 1 other worker. And I mean, if we had really like a lot of fields. Now harvest again is different. We would probably have multiple workers carting, but just sort of, I don't know, pre-planning the logistics of our staff. All right, so this is our field over here, right? And I want to go down to the end here and get turned around. We'll get our field guidance all set up, do a few lengths, and see how it all feels. All right, so we go right in here. Try to drive around the shrubbery. There we are. Beautiful. So get it right there. Set the brake. We'll get this open. Let's reset some of this stuff. So that's good. Turn that on. Reset that. There we go. And let's go third person. I think I have to close this to do that. Yeah. And once again, I got in a hurry and I left my lid and my ladder unfolded. There we go. That's better. All right. So if we go here again and we want to rotate this a little bit, just about like that, I'd say. That's perfect. And I think that's it. Yep, I think that is. Okay, so go here, we'll go here, get rid of that. We want to lower that. We want to turn it on, right? We want to go here, unfold that. We want to turn that on, right? Brake is off. Right? And we lower. All right. And this is us putting in some barley. Fantastic. There are a lot of things about this sim that are, it may take a few tries to understand what it is that you're doing, but once it clicks, I find it to be very intuitive. It definitely feels very I don't know, natural? Is that the right word? It just, it feels like we're doing something. It feels like we're driving a train or flying a plane or any of the other sims that we play where it really feels like you're doing something. This feels like we're doing something right now. It's a good feeling. All right, and I'm told I don't need to go all the way to the end of the field because we are going to do those couple little passes for our headland. So we'll lift right about there. Let's get turned around here. And then right about in here. All right. There's cruise control. I'm tracking a little bit. Yep. we're sliding a little bit. I remember doing some of the tutorials and people asking in chat, you know, will we ever need to calculate the angle of our lengths based on the grade, right? Based on the slope of the field and whether or not the field is wet and we're going to be sliding sideways, or whether we'd be able to make it from the bottom to the top of a field with a heavy tanker of slurry or something like that. I think that could be a factor. And again, we'll just need to get in the habit of remembering all this stuff that we've really never had to think about before. All right, and there is that one. Right about like so. Lift that. Beautiful. Drive around here. And next one is not there. There it is. Now, I like that the field guidance is sticky, but it's just something I need to remember. I'm used to, if you push the steering away from the GPS mods that I'm used to, it doesn't re-engage, right? You need to turn it back on, but with this one, it's very sticky. It stays activated. So I need to get in the habit of just remembering that. And I think, let's do 2 more lengths and take care of these tire tracks from earlier. And then we'll call it. That'll be right about 2 hours. Yeah, that'll be perfect. And then to start next episode, I think we will skip ahead, let's say 2 weeks to be safe, because I don't know what the crops are going to do while we're asleep, right? While we're hibernating. So I don't want to, because it says this spring barley needs about 100 days to mature. It matures fairly quickly. So I don't want to like sleep for 99 days and then we come back and our fertilizer is all off and, you know, everything's all burned up and dried out and not worth harvesting. Yeah, it feels like we're sliding a little bit to the right, but not terribly. I think we're okay. This is a pretty big tractor. Versus, well, the only other one that we have available right now is the little Claas. But yeah, I think this is a good all-around tractor that we got. I'm also curious, if we wanted to put a worker on this field, would they, if we put a worker on this field to finish drilling it, would they know the area that we had done and just continue on the rest of it? Or would they do the entire field? We want to go right here. This one? Yeah, this one. Right? Lower. Here we go. That's actually going pretty quickly. I would say we've got, maybe a quarter to a third of our width done just in 10 or 15 minutes. So yeah, we'll make quick work of this field. I'll get this done off camera. Next episode, we'll start by going to sleep for a couple of weeks, and when we wake up, we'll see the state of our crops and what it is that we need to do to keep them growing as well as possible during the summer. All right, there you go. So tomorrow we're going to do train sim. I haven't done train sim for a live stream in a while, so we're going to do train sim tomorrow, and then Thursday is going to be Colorado in ETS. So there you have it. All right, I'll finish this up. Let's get parked here. We'll call it. All right, like that, like so, and a little bit too far. What's happening right now? I feel like the AI just tried to take over. Felt like the tractor was driving itself. Okay, so we get rid of that. Get rid of that. How about here? Set the brake. There we go. Okay. That's it. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.